Hello everyone, my name is Bonaventure Brian Kawere from the Infectious Diseases Institute of Makerere University, Kampala, Uganda, presenting a poster on the evaluation of radio effectiveness as a demand creation strategy for voluntary medical male circumcision in urban areas. This is a case study of Kampala Wakiso in Uganda. Now, the World Health Organization recommends voluntary medical male circumcision for all males to prevent transmission of HIV in high-burden settings. It is, however, important to note that VMMC demand creation is essential for improved uptake of this service. Unfortunately, evaluation data on the effectiveness of applied strategies is still inadequate. As part of our implementation protocol for the VMMC program at IDI, we conduct client exit interviews every once in a while to try and appreciate their satisfaction levels, but also inform us on how we can improve client experience. It's after analysis of this data that we learned that majority of our clients get VMMC information from radio. Well, we also learned that a few got from other sources, including community drives, friends, health workers, among others. After learning this, we were prompted to further evaluate radio engagement and its effectiveness in increasing VMMC uptake. Hence, the aim was to evaluate the effectiveness of radio as a demand creation strategy for VMMC in the urban setting. The methodology was a survey which was conducted among circumcised clients 18 years and above in between the period January and April 2019. The study area was all the static and outreach VMMC sites that were supported by IDI in Kampala and Wakiso districts at the time. The males were selected randomly, and the sample size of 109 clients was gotten off the quarterly target based on the Creasy and Morgan 1970 table. Data was collected using an interviewer-administered questionnaire, and the collected data included demographics, radio utilization preferences, which included stations of preference, listening time and programs, and certain also some clients would also share preferred presenters. The results showed us that majority of the client, 65%, obtained VMMC information from radio, 22% from community drives, 14% from friends, 5% from health workers, these that they met, health workers, those that are met within the healthcare setting, and 9% from other sources, including VHTs, opinion leaders, schools, signposts, among others. Now, when disaggregating these respondents by age, you will note that 83% were aged between 18 to 29 years and 17% above 30 years. And when you look at the preferred time of listening, you will appreciate that majority of them preferred to listen in between 6 a.m. and 9 a.m. Now, the information on VMMC was obtained principally from 3 radio stations, namely Star FM, Capital FM, and Galaxy FM. However, it's also important to note that this might have been influenced by the fact that this radio station had contracts running VMMC. They were actually contracted by IDI to run VMMC adverts. At that time, the survey was conducted, which means it gave them an edge. However, this fact does not influence the client's preferred time of listening. It also does not influence the client's radio the preference, and also does not influence the demographics. So we learned a couple of lessons, which included the fact that of course, as mentioned earlier, that the main source of information for VMMC in the urban areas, to be specific, Kampala and Wakiso, was FM radio stations. They have a wider reach. It is also important that to identify the most popular stations for the target population and their preferred peak listenership times. And thirdly, we also learned the fact that the VMMC program can effectively use the resources given by negotiating for client preferred timing to air VMMC adverts and DJ mentions during these identified peak listening hours. So this would definitely target the clients more specifically and ensure that the biggest number of clients possible listen in to a particular advert, you know. So the recommendations are that we need to ascertain listener preferences. Of course, when listeners, now that is the target audience. So if it is you're looking at teenagers or you're looking at people aged between 18 and 29, it's good for you to have a sense of the station that they prefer to listen to, this particular bracket, and within the particular locality that you're looking at. It's important to also ascertain the programs or the timing when they prefer to listen in to the radio. And it's also important to know the presenters and programs of preference, because all this will guide the way you structure your advert and when you run it. It is another recommendation is also important to conduct regular surveys to understand client radio utilization dynamics. These keep on changing. New radios keep coming up, and then especially when it comes to the younger generation, it shifts with the wave. So it does not necessarily mean that the station that was popular 2 years ago is still popular to date. It may be that way for the much older generation, but for those that are probably below 30, they actually shift quite a lot. We acknowledge the IDI VMMC program is supported by funding from PEPFAR through the United States Centers for Disease Control, and we thank them. Thank you all.